Alright everybody, welcome back. We're back for round 2 of Oktoberfest of Speed, and we're here in Lobby 1. Round 2 is taking place at Spa-Francorchamps, the full layout, and we are just, everybody's setting up on the road lap here for a 10-minute qualifying session. Well, we've got a few minutes here on this outlap. We'll maybe do a little quick summary of who we got in the lobby. Leading the way here today in our outlap, we've got Nos Fox. He's on our epilepsy awareness team. We've got Wid. Wid is racing for Sector 7 racing team. We've got Black Stig. And Stig is racing for Midwest Motorsports. Or Esports, sorry. We've got Mr. Clean, and he is racing for Infinite Octane Racing Team. We've got DeLaser here representing Victory Pace Racing Team. We've got Book, who is representing Speedhouse Racing. We've got S7R Toto Wolf, who's racing for Aston Gang. We've got Mr. Jones. And Mr. Jones is... Who's Mr. Jones racing for? I believe he's racing for RWB team. We've got RWB's Nav racing for GTC. We've got S7R's Greasy racing for Greasy YouTube team. We've got Smashing Apex racing for ARC Racing Team. We've got Foggy racing for Monkey Mafia Racing. And we've got DS1126 who's racing for Gear Bangers Racing League. It looks like we've got our first guy on our first flyer here. So let's do a little ride along. Maybe we'll hop on board with Nos Fox, and we'll go for a ride around Spa here. Oh, getting a little loose there. Unfortunately, that's gonna do some damage to this lap. And on such a long track with a 10-minute quali session, you're only going to get a couple flyers, so you want to make the most of it certainly early on. And we certainly want to get as good qualifying time as you want. Some tracks it doesn't make quite as much difference, but here around Spa, where there's very limited overtaking options, you certainly want to get as good of a grid position as you possibly can, to limit the overtakes that you're going to have to make on track, because it can be quite difficult, with the exception of the long straight at the top of the hill. We got Nos Fox here. He'll be our first driver to set a time. As he comes over the final corner here, it'll be really tricky on the throttle there. You got to be very careful. And he comes through with a 2:19.9. Looks like Stig has jumped into, and Wid comes through with the fastest lap thus far with a 2:16.983, followed by DeLaser. excuse me, coming through the 217.5. We got Mr. Clean with a 217.9. Oh, and GTS Vuk has jumped up into second place with a 217.148. Total Wolf, first lap with a 218.0. RWB Nav, 218.9. Mr. Jones with a 219.4. Stack and Yak with a 219.7. Nos Fox with a 19.9. PS1126 with a 221. Fogey with a 220.9. And Blackstig with a 237.6. We did miss Smashing Apex there at a 217.2, moving up to third place, and Greasy with a 217.4. Of these drivers at the top, we've got Wid, who is the second man on track currently. We'll go see if we can get him through a timing zone here to see if he's improving on his lap. There will be one here in a couple corners time. See what sort of improvement he's working on, if any. Should be going through a sector change right here, and he is going just about a tenth faster. So we should see that time improve a little bit if he can get through this last sector unscathed. Maybe getting just a little bit of a tow from Nos Fox, who's just up the road in front of him. Not close enough to make a huge difference, but you never know. Oh, and he decided to pit. Wasn't a good enough improvement in his mind. So Wid is going to go in there for some fresh tires and give it one more good shot. We'll see what Vuk's doing here. I'm not sure if he's improving or not. We'll see if we're going to see that similar strategy. He is going to pit. It seems like, generally speaking, on these drivers will do their out lap, do one flyer, come around pit, get a fresh set of softs, and then go for one more flyer. And see if Smashing Apex does the same thing here. If you're on a real flyer, it might not be worth it, but you want to burn off some of that fuel, get some fresh tires. And we'll go Greasy sitting in the pits. He's coming out. We've got Toto. He's coming around on a flyer to start a flyer right now. So let's ride along with Toto Wolf here. He's got a fresh set of tires. It is an out lap as well. See if we can get somebody on a flyer. We got Mr. Jones here. See if he's improving. Not much change on the leaderboard as we're going through that phase where everybody's sneaking in the pits, putting on some fresh rubber. We do have a couple drivers that are on hot laps right now, including Mr. Jones, who we're watching right now. Nice clean entry there. Try to hold as much speed as you possibly can without getting onto that green part of the track. It is like ice out there, even in dry conditions. Get too much of your car out on that portion, and you can pretty much kiss goodbye to the corner. There's a couple corners on this track that are really tricky. This corner coming up, not this one, but the next one. The runoff on the left is a high-speed right. If you get a little bit too far out there, it can really cause some mayhem over that green stuff. And if it's slick in any way, you gotta be really careful. Mr. Jones is not improving, so we'll slide on down the road here. Oh, we got Nos Fox, who's coming across the finish line here to finish that hot lap. He is going to not improve on his time, unfortunately. We got RWB Nav. He is... see here, he should hit a timing line on this next corner. We'll see if he's improving. He is not. Yak is on an out lap. PS1126. See if he's going to improve on his personal best of 2:19.7. He's got Yak right behind him, all up in his business. And he's not going to get across the line in time to start a lap, unfortunately for Yak. That is unfortunate, not an improvement. So let's jump up to our leaders here. We got Wid. We'll see here, he should be hitting the timing line right at the end of this long straight. See if he's made up any time coming up the hill. He's just slightly down, which is not the end of the world. Can make up a lot of time in this back part of this section. He's got Blackstig and Total Wolf right behind him, keeping pace. We're in 5th and 8th, respectively. And they are all keeping a similar pace, so we'll be interested to see here if Wid is going faster this time around, although he has pulled out quite a bit of gap just through that sector. Yeah, he has broadened that lead a little bit on these other two racers. And we'll see here coming out of this corner if Wid has improved or not. And he has. He's going 4/10 faster. This should make a difference because we've got Vuk who's done, we've got Apex who's done. So the other two members in the top three are not going to set another time. So if Wid can finish this lap up, that's going to be a substantial improvement. Get him about half a second ahead of second place. And we got a nice clean exit. If you can get good traction coming out of that corner, this could be a mid 2:16, 2:16.4. Wow. And Blackstig does not improve. Total Wolf does improve. And I think that is everyone. Mr. Clean does not improve. And that's it. We've got no more racers on the track. That's the end of quali. So we will take a couple snapshots here. So we've got them, and then we'll have a little chat. So we've got Wid at the top with a 2:16.448. That is a 7/10 lead over our second place driver, which is GTS Vuk. We've got Laser sitting in third place with a 2:17.2. We got Smashing Apex in fourth with 2:17.297. We've got Greasy in fifth place with a 2:17.4. Black Stig in sixth place with 2:17.4. We've got Toto in seventh with a 2:17.6. And we've got Mr. Clean in eighth with a 2:17.9. 1.5 seconds separate first through eighth place. And then we'll go check ninth place is an 18.7. Nosfox in 10th with a 2:18.8. RWB Nav with a 2:18.9. Stack and Yak with a 2:19.7. Fogey with a 19.7. And DS 1126 with a 19.7. So we've got two pretty good chunks here from 9th to 14th is only separated by a second, which is not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. And then the top 8 are separated by a second and a half, top 5 by a second. So we should be in for some nice clean racing. Send a message to the racers here. We'll get started at 20. So before we get started here in 1 minute's time, we'll do a little summary of results from round one. So the way the Oktoberfest of Speed works is every team's got 3 drivers, 1 driver in each of the 3 lobbies, and we do a combined total team time, and lowest time is the winner. So out of round one, we've got ARC, Auto Racing Connected, who's sitting in first place. And we've got Greasy YouTube Racing in second, just about 30 seconds in total time behind. Sector 7 sitting in third. Further, 15 seconds behind them, we've got Speedhouse Racing sitting in fourth. Victory Pace Racing Team in fifth. Infinite Octane Racing in sixth. Midwest Esports in seventh. GT Champions in eighth. Gearbangers Racing League in ninth. RWB Racing in 10th. Epilepsy Awareness Racing in 11th. Aston Gang in 12th. Monkey Mafia Esports in 13th. Victory Pace Racing League in 14th. And on a track this long where we can get substantial time gaps, this is all on the line. That first place is certainly not written in stone, and nor are the top 3. So we'll put a little ready. And we are ready to go here. We'll just get some R's from our drivers. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. Okay. There we go. And we're off. Okay. Our false start check is on, so everybody's got to keep that brake engaged. And we're waiting for lights to go red. Here they are. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're off on lights out. And we're off. So what we're going to do here for the start, we're going to jump back to the middle of the pack just to make sure we catch any incidents if there should be, because we do have a red flag rule in this event. Any incident involving more than 2 cars with damage. We've got damage. No damage. Only rear bumper damage on 1 car. So that does not constitute a red flag scenario. We'll scroll through them one more time here just to make sure. We got a penalty with smashing apex, unfortunately. And that is the end of Sector 1. And just the single car with a little bit of damage. And it is light damage, so let damage just go away in time. So, let's get up to the front of the race. We got Wid, who started in P1 and has been able to maintain that lead through that first sector of the race. Has been able to pull out to about 3/4 of a second lead right now, with Vuk sitting in a close second. Very closely followed by Blackstick 32. And we've got DeLaser and Greasy very close behind them as well. Everybody's driving single file, keeping it nice and clean. Well, DeLaser goes for a little move, and Stig got a little sideways. I think he was able to save it. I think that was maybe a little aggressive there. From the laser, a little bump on the side of Blackstick 32. Now we do allow these drivers to, if they feel like they may have made a mistake in a pass and bumped the car, they can make the decision on track to get that position back. It'll certainly help in any scenario where an incident might be raised to the stewards team. It doesn't look like the laser felt like that was warranted in this case, so he continues on. We've got Greasy going in after his first lap, so you'll be wondering why would somebody pit at the end of lap 1. Reason for it is in our series, we do require that every driver runs all 3 compounds of tire. That is the soft, medium, and hard compound tire. They must run that for 1 lap. Each compound for at least 1 lap. That can be your old lap. That can be the final lap of the race. But you must use every single compound in order to satisfy GT7's tire compound rules. So that's what you'll see. You'll see varying strategies up and down the grid here. We've got a couple drivers who have obviously started on the hard, which would be the slower of the 3 compounds, to get that tire out of the way early, and then try to make up that time by putting on the medium or the soft. As you can see here with Wid, who is our leader, he's pulled out a 3-second lead here after lap 1. He is on the mediums. So he's certainly going to try to make these last as long as he can. In second place, we've got Vuk. Vuk is on the hards, and he has decided to keep them on into lap 2. So everybody's strategy is a little bit different. Everybody drives a little bit different style as well. Some are harder on their tires than others. So some will be able to make those softer compounds last a little bit longer than others. That's why we're going to see such a nice variety here. We got some really close racing here with DeLaser and Vuk. This is the corner that DeLaser made that move on Black Stig, and Black Stig is looking to return the favor there. And they're nice and close together, and we've got DeLaser on the softs, so he's really got to make some progress here, because these softs are only going to be probably good for maybe 3 or 4 laps before they really start to fall off. You can see he gets a little bit wide coming out of there. He wants to get the most out of these tires. And Vuk on the hard is really doing well to maintain second place on the slower of the 3 compounds. Coming down here to the penultimate corner, DeLaser's throwing down the inside. Oh, it was a bit of an aggressive move. Oh, and we've got an incident. We've got Stig, who spun out. No, it was not Stig. That's Vuk, who got spun out entering the pit. And we got DS1126 entering the pit. That was all a little bit ugly. DeLaser again getting a little feisty there into the second last corner. I'm not sure. That one might get sent to the stewards. Might look like it was a little late. Unfortunately, got Vuk out of position, so he could not come across to enter the pits. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening after the race. I wouldn't be surprised to see that one get raised to the stewards. We've got Stig and Toto Wolff in a drag race down to this corner. We've got Toto on the inside track. Black Stig tries to go for the cutback. Whoa, Toto gets a little bit loose. Stig stays wide. Whoa, my goodness, and we've lost Mr. Jones. Looks like he lost the back end. Trying to get this thing turned around. Unfortunately, sometimes these cars are not that easy to do. He backs up into traffic. He's got lots of space here before Greasy comes through. He's going to come through and gets past Mr. Jones, who's got engine damage here. Unfortunately, he hit that wall really hard. Got front end damage and engine damage, which is now repairing itself, so he's going to be getting back up to speed. Smashing Apex right behind him. Really looking for a way past. And he does. He throws it to the inside. Mr. Jones stays out of the way. And that was very unfortunate for him. Unfortunately, we've got Vuk. Vuk, when we saw, ran into that issue on the pit entry, and it looks like he got a 3-second penalty, most likely on the way into the pits for crossing the pit line. Unfortunate for him. That rough situation on the way in gets even worse with a 3-second time penalty. So we'll see here. I mean, it's a long game. It's a 40-minute endurance race. Lots of time to make that up, but that's a real unfortunate turn of events for here on lap 3. We've got Yak sitting behind him in third place. Yak is on the soft compound tire. We've got DS1126 on the medium, so it's back in 14. And we'll jump back up to the front. So Wid, again, on the medium tire, starting lap 4, has a 3.8 second lead on DeLaser. And DeLaser is on the soft compound tire, and you can already see those soft tires do not last very long. I would be surprised if he tries to push it past lap 4 here So he's going to try to get the most out of these tires while he still can. 3.7 seconds down the road, we've got Toto Wolff, the 7R. And in this event, he's racing for the Aston gang. Oh my goodness, it looks like he might have went a little wide there. And it may have been a little bit of neck code or lag, but it didn't look like it affected too much. He's on a medium tire. I believe this is what he started on. You can see the car's got a little bit of bump on it. Looks like there was some rubbing or some contact with something or someone. We got Black Stig here in 4th place on the medium tire as well. Now these two racers, they don't know what tire their competitor's on, but they'll certainly be hoping that the two drivers in front of them are on the softer compound, and with that it would explain the gap that they're pulling. We do know our first place driver is not. He's on the same compound, but DeLaser is on the softs. We got Nosfox here on the soft as well. And again, he's about 50% burnt through that front right tire. I don't think you're going to be able to push these another lap beyond this one, but we'll see as he comes around what he's going to decide to do. Nav running in 6th place here, just 12 seconds off the lead. Very much in the fight here. 1.5 behind Nosfox, half a second ahead of IORT's Mr. Clean. And we'll stick with these guys for a couple of corners and see if Mr. Clean decides that he may want to make a push. We've got some great liveries representing these teams and leagues. We'll take a tour through them here at some point in time as we get deeper into it. And we do not have anybody diving into the pits. Our soft compound drivers are still pushing. We'll jump back to see Fogey here in 8th place. He's 10 seconds back of Mr. Clean. He is on the medium tire as well. He's going to keep rolling here as he starts lap 5. We've got Greasy. Greasy is on the mediums. He is 27 seconds behind our leader, but Greasy has made a pit stop already. You remember he started on the hards, did his first lap, and then he's made that transition. So we should see him sort of transition up that leaderboard as the rest of the pit stops start to happen. Smashing Apex, 5.5 seconds down the road from Greasy, also on the medium tire. I believe Smashing Apex also started on the hard, so he and Greasy, if he can bridge this gap a little bit, they might be able to work together to push back up to the front of that leaderboard. Mr. Jones, we saw had a little incident earlier, actually in the corner that we're coming up to now. So maybe we'll hang on with him here, see if he has a little better luck coming through this sector this time. Really tough, unfortunate situation. Got into the wall, got some major engine damage. Kind of got pinned at the wall, couldn't get it turned around. It was real rough, but he is still in 11th place, so I think he's got to be pretty pleased with. He's hanging in there. We've got Yak 3 seconds back, representing Victory Face Racing League. This is our home team representation, and he is just a 1.3 seconds up the road from Book. As you can see, Yak is on the soft compound tire. We've got Vuk, who is gaining on him in the mediums. And again, we saw Vuk earlier, that really tough incident right at the end of the lap. I believe it was 2 or 3. Tried to get into the pits. Couldn't make it. There was some contact with another racer. Ended up picking up a penalty. Let's see if he can recover from that. Again, we've still got 28 minutes plus in this race, so lots of time to make up that difference. We've got DS1126 back here in 14th place. He is on the medium compound tire. He has certainly made a tire change. We're not sure if he was on the hards and pitted at the end of lap 1. It appears that he did, but that remains to be seen. Back up to our leader. We've got Wid with a 9.2 second lead over Toto Wolff. Looks like DeLaser, who was in second, has made his pit stop as he has rolled down the leaderboard. He had the softs on, and they have given up on him. Just as Toto and Black Stig come up over the hill, they would have been able to see Vid off in the distance with a 9.1 second lead. Wood is on the mediums, on which he started on. And Toto and Black Stig have the same strategy thus far. These two racers have been close the whole time. And it is tough to make a pass around Spa. There's really only a couple places where it's really quite convenient. And if you can't get it done there, you really have to be patient and just wait behind the other driver. Maybe at the portion of the race here where drivers are trying to extend the stint on those tires a little bit as well. But again, varying strats. So it'll be interesting to see where we land. Back in fourth place, we've got Nosfox, who is still going on these soft tires, and you can tell. Excuse me, they are almost completely gone. He's really having trouble staying on the racing line, and he is slowing down Mr. Clean and Nav quite substantially. And they are just itching to find a way past. There is no question the Nosfox is going to be pitting at the end of this lap. Mr. Clean looks like he wants to make a move here. He is pulling out to go around him. He's got enough speed to get this done, I would think. I think Nosfox knows well enough that he just can't fight that. He doesn't want to run too wide. Nav is looking like he's going to do the same thing. He's going to throw it down the outside, which is fine. Nos he wants to stay on the inside because he needs to get to that pit lane. As he does. He flips in there, and he'll be getting those softs off. That was a serious stint. That was 6 laps on softs. That's pretty impressive. We got Nav in 5th place. He is just under a second behind Mr. Clean. Same thing. These guys have been driving close to each other for quite some time. We've got Greasy in 6th place, and we discussed, as these drivers go through their pit sequence, we would see these drivers start to move up the leaderboard, and they've already made up a couple spots with a couple of our drivers on the soft tires sliding backwards. He's got some work to do. He's got 9.5 seconds to Nav, and 27 seconds to the leader. I believe it was 27 seconds last time we looked as well. So he's certainly not losing time to our leader, but not really bridging the gap probably as effective as he'd want to. We've got DeLaser. DeLaser is now on the medium tire. He did his first stint on the softs. 3.5 seconds down the road from Greasy. And he's got about the same gap behind to Smashing Apex. Smashing Apex here on the medium tire as well. He's burning through those quite a bit, but again, lots of race left here, folks. We've still got 25 minutes left of racing. We'll jump back and see Vuk as he continues his recovery drive. Oh, we've got Mr. Jones in the wall back there, unfortunately. That's his second incident of the race. That's going to really start to add up, unfortunately, for him. Vuk's got the fastest lap of the race so far with a 2:17.2, so he is really pushing. He's on a mission here to try to make up some of that lost time. And we'll go check out Nosfox. He went from softs to hards. So we'll see if Nosfox decides to just do this single lap on the hard compound tire. He pitted from 5th place, I believe, if I recall correctly. If he's going to do just the single lap on hard and then send it with the mediums, this could be an interesting strategy, see where he ends up. And he is. He's going to dive right back in the pits again. So that is his last pit stop. He will not have to stop again. DS1126 here on the mediums. And he finishes up lap 7 on to lap 8. Pretty consistent timing, as you can see. First couple laps, there was definitely a pit stop in there somewhere, but he's been quite consistent over the last 3 or 4 laps. I'm just going to go back here and see if we can get a shot of what our quality times were again. Yes, we did have Wid, who is our race leader. Let's go back up and have a little ride on with Wid. We got Wid, who is our race leader. He's expanded that lead out to 10.4 seconds. He was on pole, got out with a good clean start and hasn't looked back since. We do have Toto Wolff and Blackstig, who have been together this whole time. Looks like they're just happy to kind of drive together. I don't think anybody's really pushing the envelope. I think they're both, making good enough time. Oh, we got Blackstig a little bit wide in the background here. And he's able to rejoin without too much damage. He did lose about 7/10 through that section. He will not want to lose the toe from the car ahead. That continues to climb as he lost speed coming out of that last corner before the long straight. That could be damaging. Toto Wolff decides to continue. Stig also decides to continue. And we've got Mr. Clean and Nav. Again, those tires are definitely wearing down here. We're just about 1 minute short of the halfway point. So it'll be interesting to see how much longer they decide to take these tires. Maybe 1 or 2 more laps, and then they get those other compounds on. We got Nav here representing GTC, GT Champions Racing League. Another great racing league in the GT7 community that I have competed in, as also a lot of members of the Victory Pace Racing team have through the years. They just announced actually upcoming season, so looking forward to that. Should go check that out, guys. It's I believe it's a 2-hour endurance race series. New car, new track, random between Group 3 and Group 4, so really fun, lots of variety. Slide back here to Greasy. Greasy is just kind of chugging along here. He's putting in real good laps. A little slow one there on lap 7, but he's right back down to the 2:18s here on lap 8. May have run into some traffic as well, which could make the difference here. The gap to the leader has grown a little bit. It was 27 seconds roughly last time we viewed Greasy. That's up to 20, almost 29 now. So he's losing a little bit of time to the leader, but Wid has got such a strong lead right now. I think really the battle is going to be for those 2nd and 3rd spots. Again, Greasy has already pit. Toto and Blackstig have not. And that's about a 20-second gap between 2nd and 6th roughly, so it'll be interesting to see how this all pans out. Just about a second and a half behind Greasy, we've got VPR's The Laser. Had a couple of incidents earlier on, so I know he'll be hoping to get a clean bill after this race, but I'm pretty confident we're gonna see a steward ticket for at least one of those issues. Certainly not saying who was at fault, but looked like they were close for sure. Nice clean exit out of that corner, and he is keeping up with Greasy and maintaining that gap. We've got Smashing Apex down in 8th. Again on those mediums. I believe he did first lap pit stop with the Herds. You can see those medium, the times are just starting to creep up a little bit. He's got about a 5-second gap to the Laser. And about a 5-second gap back to Vuk. But when Apex does pit next, he will be putting the faster compound, the soft compound, tire on. I would think he wouldn't want to do that before 5 laps remaining. So roughly 12 minutes remaining in the race. So I think he's going to want to maybe do another 2 or 3 laps on this. We shall see though. Here's Vuk with Speedhouse Racing. Luke's doing a good job. His lap times on these mediums is quick. He's in the 17s most laps. A little bit quicker than the driver up the road. So he's definitely chewing away at that gap. And same thing, he will be aiming to put the soft tires on at the end. So we should see an interesting race between Vuk and Smashing Apex, both very quick drivers. We've got DS1126, part of Gear Bangers Racing League. Nice looking livery, very sharp. He's back here in 10th position, roughly 20 seconds down the road from Vuk. We got about 14-second gap from Fogey. A little bit lonely, but holding on to that top 10 position. Nice consistent lap times out of DS1126 though. And we've got Nosfox, minute 15 down. We do know Nosfox did do his 2 pit stops. Started on the softs, put the hards on for 1 lap, and now he is on the push right to the end. He's 40 seconds back of Apex, who is now in the pits. So we should see he's on the exit. Oh, that might be a penalty. I don't think so, but it's just the odor line that is the penalty line. It looks like he's fine. He comes out of the pits. He's got about a 12-second buffer to Nosfox, and Apex is on the softs. So he needs to make these softs last roughly 15 minutes. Which is about 6 laps. We got Fogey from our Epilepsy Awareness Racing team, racing for a great cause. A group of drivers got together to do this. Nice looking livery. And he is chugging along here in 12th place, about 8.5 seconds down the road from Nosfox, and he's got Yak about 4 seconds behind him. Looks like may have had a little bit of an issue that last lap, a little bit slower than maybe what he was looking for. But he is on the hard compound tire right now. I just picked up a penalty as well. So we'll see if Yak, behind, 3.6 seconds behind, can come and get him a little bit. And we've got Wid. Wid has just done a lap on the hards, so this will be his last pit stop. Greasy, same thing. He's coming in. DeLaser goes through on the mediums. He is yet to pit for hard tires, so he will need to pit one more time. He takes over the lead. But that is not really our race leader. He's got track position currently, but again, he will need to pit again. You can see we've got a load of people in the pits right now. We got Mr. Clean 11 seconds down the road. He's on the soft tire. We got Black Stig on the soft tire. So these 2 drivers will, I believe, be pushing to the end on these now. We got Wid with brand new softs. Actually, I correct myself. I think all 3 in the top 3 need to pit again. We got Wid, who has pitted his required amount of time, so he is now going to the finish on these soft tires. We've got Greasy, who is 7.2 seconds down the road from Vid, and he has now got the softs out as well. So he has done his pit stops, and he most certainly has done a good job maintaining contact with Wid. It's only 7 seconds. We've got 13 minutes left in this race. Anything can happen. So we will watch that gap quite closely. We've got Total Wolf also on softs. All of his pit stops are done. He is 4.6 seconds back of Greasy. We've got Vuk. Vuk just pit as well, put on the softs. He is up to 7th place. We got Smashing Apex, also on the softs, carrying a half-second penalty, unfortunately. These drivers are all now in full send mode. So I think we'll see that fastest time start to come down at 2:17.2 right now by Vuk. But I think we'll start to see that drop. Apex trying to get as close as possible to Vuk here to limit the damage that half-second penalty is going to give him. It's kind of in an awkward spot. It's just as you come out of a corner at the start of a straight, so it really does compound the problem. And you can see that went from a half-second gap and climbing now. Will be 2 seconds by the time they get to this corner. So really penalizing. It's about a 1.5 second penalty in the grand scheme of things. GS1126 on some heavily worn mediums here. I am assuming he's jumping into the pits. We got Nav here on the softs. I think he's probably pushing to the end. Nosfox on the mediums. He is definitely going in. We know he pitted twice early. We got Yak here on the mediums. Currently in 12th position. Big gap forward, big gap back. I think he and 1126 will be pretty close to each other on the pit exit, though. Oh, Yak is going to go jump into the pits as well. We got Fogey, Mr. Jones. And we jump back up to DeLaser. DeLaser holding on to first place on the track currently with a 10-second lead over Black Stig. Black Stig has got Mr. Clean right behind him. I believe he has gotten past Mr. Clean. I think it was the opposite way around the last time we took a look. So maybe we'll hang on here. We got Wid coming into the screen just behind them, who was our race leader for the first 11 laps of this race. And realistically, I believe still has track position because these two drivers do need to pit one more time. I believe that will be for the hard tire, and my gut will be that they'll do that on the last lap. Mr. Clean, albeit did drop a position to the Black Stig, is still very much within that 1 second window that you want to be in to keep that toe. Kind of drag him along here through these long straights on this track. As you can see, that delta is dropping, not substantially, but a little bit. That does have a little bit of an effect. And we can see Wid is getting ever closer. Black Stig, that last lap, 2:17.1. That is our fastest lap of the race. And a little bit slower that time around. But, and we've got Wid with a 2:16.1. Oh my goodness. That is a second faster than the previous fast lap. He is fully sending it now. And again, his pit stops are done. He is 11.6 seconds from our first place driver. Again, all the top three have to pit one more time before this race is over. So that will vault Wid certainly back up into first place. He has been flying all race. He is representing Sector 7 Racing, who has brought a really solid lineup. One of his teammates, Greasy, is right behind him. Greasy is racing for a separate team in this event. Certainly still representing S7R, but racing for Greasy YouTube team. As Greasy does have a large YouTube representation, so certainly trying to spread the word for him. But Wid today, thus far, has been our fastest and most consistent driver. And we've got Vuk with a 2:15.775, who is really trying to make up for that trouble he ran into earlier. I think we're going to have a serious finish here. We've got 8 minutes left in this race. 3, max 4 laps. And it could come down to it here because these tires are burning through quick. Maybe it's going to be interesting to see how this all pans out. jump back down to Greasy. Greasy has been bringing that delta down. He's got a personal best of 2:16.1, which really matches Wid's fastest lap. He's bringing that gap down. It's down to 6.6 seconds. It was a little over 7. He's not taking the chunks out of it that he would like to, but every little bit counts. We got Toto Wolff 7 seconds behind here, another S7R racer. He is racing for a Aston gang in this event, but again, he's a Sector 7 racing driver. And again, quite evident with they've got a lot of fast drivers on that team, and we're glad to have them all competing here in Oktoberfest of Speed. $2:17.3 for Toto, and we've got Vuk, who is moving with a 2:16.5 there. Again, 7th position on the track. I wouldn't be surprised to see that improve by 1 or 2 spots. I think he'd be probably pretty pleased with the top 5 after what happened on lap 2 or 3. 8 seconds down the road, we got Smashing Apex. Smashing Apex on the softs. You can see those softs are getting pretty beat up. They're going to be a handful on the last few laps, that's for sure. Smashing Apex is representing Auto Racing Connected, so that's ARC. ARC is our current time leader. So I think he's going to obviously try to make up as much pace as he possibly can here on the finishing stretch of this, or we could certainly see a lead change at the top. And again, the way it works is we take all 3 drivers from the team across the 3 lobbies and we add up their total time, and that's how the positioning is worked for the championship. And ARC was leading after round 1, followed by Greasy YouTube Racing, followed by Sector 7 Racing. And both of those teams in this lobby are currently up the road from Smashing Apex, so we could see some changes. Let's jump back up front here and check out DeLaser. DeLaser is again currently in first place. He got a 7.2 second lead. He is on the mediums. He needs fuel. I believe he has not run the hards yet, so I would be very surprised if he doesn't do that right now. He's going to go another lap, folks. He's going to push it. So obviously he feels he's got enough to get one more lap in with 4.5 minutes to go, and then he will most definitely come in and put the hards on. Black Stig here on the softs, Wid on the softs, and Mr. Clean on the softs. Wid is certainly our race leader currently. The other 2 drivers, I believe, have to pit one more time. Tricky section here coming up the hill. Easy to run a little bit wide and get a track penalty. They both do a great job, as does Mr. Clean in the background. And you see, it looks like Wid's got a ton of speed. He's going to make a move on the outside. Black Stig will maintain the inside of this corner, so it'll be interesting to see if he backs off a little bit. He does. I think Stig realized this is not his race with Wid, and let him go. Stig is here representing Midwest E-Racing. Again, nice looking livery there. Nice to have those guys join us for this race. Putting on a nice performance here this evening. We got Infinite Octane Racing Team right behind him, Mr. Clean. A 1 second gap, and man, they've been close the entire race. I'm sure both are sick of looking in their mirrors and seeing the other, but from what we've seen, it's been nice, close racing. No crossing the border. So, always a pleasure to race with other racers who can do that. Nice, close racing without contact. And then we've got Greasy. Oh, it's not far behind. We have 4 seconds. Yeah, he's about 7 seconds behind Wid for first place, and I think Greasy's second place on the road right now when we take into consideration pit stops that are going to need to happen. We got Michigan Trail Raider jumping in from YouTube saying, "Let's go Gear Bangers." So he's He's cheering for his man DS1126. And just for the comment, we'll go have a look. We'll catch DS1126 for a couple corners here for our viewers on YouTube. And he's doing a real respectable job here, putting in some good laps right now on the softs. I know if I were him, I'd be really pushing, trying to get that top 10. And this is a lobby with some seriously quick drivers, so I think anybody in the top 10 is going to be quite pleased. And he's got a 17-second gap to Nosfox. It's a lot of time, but there are some other drivers that probably have to pit ahead of him, so you never know. We'll check out Stack and Yak here. Oh, let's just jump up to the front. We've had some pit stops. So we've got Wid now, who is our leader on track. He's got a 6.5-second lead over Greasy. Greasy then has a 7.5-second lead over Toto. And then we've got Vuk, who is very close to Toto now. He is 1.3 seconds back. And this is the recovery drive of a lifetime for Vuk. If he can pull off a top 3 finish, that would be extremely impressive. He's got that down to 1 second. I think Toto, this will most likely be our last lap, I think, for some drivers, certainly. We've got the Laser here in 5th place. We've got Black Stig in 6th place, very close. We've got Mr. Clean again right behind him, as per usual. We've got Smashing Apex on the softs, and they are cooked. We've got RWB Nav on the softs. They are pretty cooked. Nosfox on the mediums. They're probably still hanging on. We've got 1126 on the softs. We got Stack and Yak on the softs. We got Fogey coming in on the softs. Mr. Jones on the softs. And we'll go back to our leader. Our leader's coming through the final sector here. It's going to be really close. I think he will probably cross with one more lap to go. Just, I think. It's going to be really close. And he might have 3 or 4 seconds extra on the time, which means Greasy is probably not going to make it, which will give Wid the win. He is going to cross with 2 seconds to spare. And that means Greasy is going to take the first checkered flag. So Greasy, with a real solid race, finishing 2nd on the road. We've got Toto Wolff coming through with 3rd. We've got Vuk coming across in 4th. Real solid drive from all these drivers. We've got the Laser from VPRL coming in 5th place. We've got Black Stig coming across in 6th. We've got Mr. Clean in 7th. We've got Smashing Apex in 8th. RWB Nav in 9th. What a pack of drivers that was. We got Nosfox coming in 10th place. He's coming around. He's carrying a 0.5-second penalty, which will double, unfortunately, at the finish line. He's going to come across and round out that top 10. We got DS1126 of Gearbanger Racing League. He's coming in here for a solid 11th place finish. We'll watch him across the finish line. And we've got Stack and Yak, our man back here in 12th place. He's coming down here just to the final set of corners, and he will finish up in 12th by the looks of it. He's got a 32-second lead back to 13th place. We'll see Yak come across the finish line here as round 2 for him comes to an end. Mr. Jones, oh, we got a battle. Mr. Jones and Fogey. Mr. Jones and Fogey are battling it out here, folks, for 13th and 14th position. And I don't care what that number says. These guys want to finish. These guys both want to finish 13th. Mr. Jones takes the inside. Oh, Fogey misses the braking point, goes a little deep, and that's going to seal the deal for Mr. Jones. As he comes across the line in 13th place. We got Fogey coming across in 14th. He may have run out of fuel, I don't think so. And then we got Wid. We got Wid for the last couple of corners. Man, this was a dominating performance from him. Big kudos to Wid. Led right from the start and takes the checkered flag. So that's our series winner. Our race 2 winner. from here in Oktoberfest of Speed. That is Wid with the victory. He's got pole position and he got a clean race. Did not take the fastest lap. I do not recall who had the fastest lap, so let's go take a look at that as we look through the results. So again, we got Wid with the win. Started in first place and took first place. We got Greasy in second place. We got Total Wolf in third. To round out the podium, we got Vuk, who took the fastest lap with a 2:15.775. Again, ran into some unfortunate issues there early in the race. Trying to get into the pit. A little bit of a roundup there with the Laser, who finished fifth. We got Black Stig in sixth, Mr. Clean in seventh, Smashing Apex in eighth. We've got RWB Nav in ninth. We've got Nosfox rounding out the top 10. We got DS1126 in 11th. Stack and Yak here in 12th. Mr. Jones in 13th. And Fogey rounding out in 14th. So a successful round number 2. We will be back same time next week for round 3, the final round of the Oktoberfest of Speed. We'll be driving the Group 3 BMW at Nürburgring GP. And then that'll be for the championship. I think we've got some movement at the top. I think we're going to have a real tight battle next week. Please come join us on Victory Pace Racing League's Discord. We're running short 3-race series. Not a huge time commitment. Every Monday evening. Come join us. Come check us out. Always happy to have new drivers and returning drivers. Thanks so much, and we'll catch you next time.